Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session on current affairs where we are going to cover the important events of the last week. So today in this session, we are going to cover all the important stories which happened in the last week from October 11 to October 17, 2021. So to begin with, last week saw the 13th round of talks between India and China related to the disengagement of the borders. So this talk was held at Moldo, which is on the Chinese side, and this is the 13th round of Corps Commander talks. This involves the third phase of disengagement from the patrolling point 15 in Hot Springs. I hope all of us remember the conflict which started in May 2020, and from that onwards, a series of meetings have already been held, and through some of the meetings, this engagement has been completed in the Pangong Show region in February and patrolling point 17 in August this year. But there are two friction points that still remain, that is Demcho and Depsang. These two are friction points for which the disengagement talks is still going on. While India clearly reiterated their stand that if the talks have to be fruitful, then Chinese side have to move back and they have to disengage completely. So the series of talks continue while this talk which happened last week was remained inconclusive, but hopefully both the countries would be meeting once again very soon and will continue with the talks. The discussions will continue on how to disengage and to calm down the situation which has been there at the border for last almost 1.5 years. Moving on to the next major story was the announcement of the Nobel Prize 2021 for economics. We already discussed in the previous session about the Nobel Prizes for other segment, literature, peace, and others, medicine, but economics awards were announced late. This time in 2021, the Nobel Prize for economics went to David Card, and he shared the prizes with Joshua Angrist and Guido Imbens, who is from Stanford University. Joshua Angrist is from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. David Card was awarded Nobel Prize for his pioneering research that showed higher minimum wages actually do not lead to any, do not have any impact on hiring. It doesn't lead to any less hiring actually. And also the immigrants do not lower the pay for the native born workers. So people who are local, their pays are not affected by the pays of the immigrants. Talking about the other prize winners, Joshua and Guido, they did research and they studied issues that can't rely on traditional scientific methods. So this time, the Nobel Prize for Economics actually went to people who did pioneering work in social research. How wages, how scientific methods affect day-to-day life, and that was the research which was considered for this year's. So David Card shared 50% of the prize, while Joshua and Guido among themselves share another 50% of the prize. In a significant development, the Central Drug Standards Control Organization, CDSCO, approved the emergency use approval for Covaxin among the 2 to 18 years children. That age group was already under trial, and Bharat Biotech submitted its initial findings to the subject expert committee, which has given emergency use approval as of now. The final approval will come from Drugs Control General of India, and only then the vaccination process will start. Before talking about Covaxin, it is important to note here that Covaxin will be the second vaccine to be given emergency use authorization for use among the children. Earlier, Zydus Cadila, which is a pharmaceutical firm, they developed a vaccine which is Zycov D that has already been cleared for children who are aged 12 and above. So that means the group 12 to 18 is likely to get Zydus Cadila's developed vaccine, which is Zycov D as well. Serum Institute of India, which has already developed Covishield, they are also carrying the phase 2 and phase 3 trial of Covovax vaccine among the 7 to 11 age group actually. So the trials are already on, and hopefully in due course of time, we'll see the third vaccine being approved for the children. And this will be a good situation considering how the school life has been affected, how the college life has been affected for these kids. So I think this is a welcome move from the government. And after considering all the studies from these pharmaceutical firms, they have started giving emergency use authorization. 44 crore children in the country need vaccination. That's a huge segment actually. And we are soon about to touch 100 crore vaccination in 18 plus age group. Covaxin, it is important to understand that Covaxin is the first indigenous inactivated vaccine, which was developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and National Institute of Virology. The Prime Minister last week announced a special project which is to be known as PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. The objective of this project is to bring all the 16 infrastructure related departments on the same platform. Currently, each department is individually taking their decisions, but with the formation of this National Master Plan, which is to be known as PM Gati Shakti, with a financial outlay of rupees 100 lakh crores, the plan is to bring down all the costs and to increase the cargo handling and reduce the turnaround time of the projects. In future, the government also plans to rope in the states and bring their schemes on the same platform, Gati Shakti. This program or this initiative is also likely to subsume the rupees 110 lakh crore national infrastructure pipeline, which was launched in the year 2019. And it will become one of the biggest projects to be undertaken by the government of India in recent times. The key focus actually for this is to bring down the turnaround time of the projects, ensure they do not have cost overruns, and the problems are resolved within a specified time frame. Currently, each of the departments are taking independent decisions, which actually sometimes delays most of the projects actually because of the lack of cohesion among the different departments. So that project, which is PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, aims to do away with those problems actually in near future. In a significant move by Government of India, the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, extended the jurisdiction of Border Security Force to 50 kilometers from the existing 15 kilometers in the bordering state of Punjab, Assam, and West Bengal. Now, BSF has the power to search, arrest, and seize, and the power is equivalent to what the local police has actually. So BSF can arrest any person, can seize seize properties, can seize documents, and go for search within the 50-kilometer radius. Earlier, it was limited to 15 kilometers. Under the Section 39 of BSF Act 1968, the government has, the Ministry of Home Affairs has the power to notify such limits, such areas. The border stretch of BSF within their control in Gujarat, the border state of Gujarat, has been reduced to 50 kilometers with this notification from the existing 80 kilometers, but no changes have been made as far as Rajasthan is concerned, where it remains 50 kilometers. Considering the northeastern states and the newly created union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, no such limits have been introduced, no such limit changes have been done. So Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Tripura, Manipur, and UTs of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh do not have any specific, did not get any change as far as the limits are concerned. So this is a significant move which empowers the border security force, which patrols our borders on regular basis, and empowers them to have greater authority within that 50-kilometer range. Pipping China, US becomes the India's largest trade partner in first 9 months of 2021. So if you talk about the scenario from January to September, the trade between India and US jumped to $28 billion as against the trade between India and China, which stood at $25.3 billion. The trade between India and China actually saw a significant jump of 50% over the corresponding period last year. The reason for this is the low base and the demand, which saw overall trade actually jump by 50% to $231 billion in first 9 months of 2021. And the steepest increase was witnessed with trade in trade with South Africa, which stood at a significant jump of 91.4%. Though the numbers may not be significant in absolute terms, but if you look at the percentage increase, that stood at 91.4% as far as India-South Africa trade is concerned. A large part of this increase in trade can be attributed to high commodity prices, including metals and oil prices. The Prime Minister last week unveiled two significant projects, Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, which is for the urban area, and Amrut 2.0, with a financial outlay of 4 lakh crores. The Swachh Bharat Mission Urban 2.0 will focus on sustainability of open defecation-free outcomes and processing solid waste and managing water waste in cities with population less than 1 lakh. And for this project, the financial outlay which has been given is rupees 1.42 lakh crore. But it is important to note here that the share of central government, the government of India, in this financial outlay will only be rupees 36,465 crore, which means the rest of the plan has to be, the cost has to be borne by the respective state governments. Talking about Amrut 2.0, the financial outlay for the project stands at rupees 2.77 lakh crores. And this project aims to make cities more water secure and self-sustainable so that they do not depend on others as far as the water supply is concerned, the drinking water is concerned in the respective cities. So these two important projects were announced and with a 4 lakh crore outlay being given to these two projects. And these are for the urban areas. Among the other significant news which you must read about, talking about sports, Rahul Dravid is set to become the men's cricket team coach with Paras Mahamre as the bowling coach and Vikram Rathore as the batting coach. Vikram Rathore is likely to be retained as the batting coach, though official announcement has not been made. And the BCCI is planning to will definitely advertise the position, but it seems a mere formality. Kumble did not participate in this selection, while the offer was also made for discussion to Ricky Ponting. But it's now very likely that Rahul Dravid is set to become India's national coach. He is currently under 19 coach and is also the also heading the National Cricket Academy. So the move actually is considering the change which we'll witness in the current team, considering the age of some of the cricketers, the active cricketers out there, and this move will actually smoothen the process of transfer from under 19 to the men's cricket team. Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, also known as father of Pakistan's nuclear bomb, and was described as merchant of millions by Time magazine once, passed away last week due to COVID. Majority of the states face power cuts due to coal shortage. Thankfully, the problem seems to be now resolved with the coal reserves increasing, the supply to the power plants increasing in the last week. But yes, states did witness long power cuts in the week prior to this, and there were long electricity cuts in major cities in all these states actually. Chennai Super Kings won the IPL for the 4th time, defeating Kolkata Knight Riders. Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone have decided not to handle any cargo from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. While Iran has denounced this move, but this is a decision which was done by the Adani Group after the haul of contrabands from the Mundra port in Gujarat, which is worth 20,000 crores. In another significant development towards tackling COVID-19, the pharmaceutical company Merck has applied to US FDA for emergency use authorization of Molnupiravir, which is supposed to be the first antiviral pill to treat COVID-19. And Rakesh Jhunjhunwala backed AXA Airlines has been approved by the government and is likely to start operations from summers next year. So those were the significant stories from the last week of October 2021. Stay tuned for regular updates. Do subscribe to our social media platforms, Facebook, Telegram, and Instagram to receive interesting and regular updates about various aspects. With that, we come to an end to this session and see you next week.